What is occupational therapy? Many people often mistake occupational therapists as physical therapists or people who help other people get jobs. This is a wide misconception that occupational therapists have strived to correct for years in their attempts to explain their profession. According to the American Occupational Therapy Association, occupational therapists help people of all ages participate in the things they want and need to do through the therapeutic use of everyday activities or occupations. An occupation in this sense is not necessarily job-related, but refers to the activities people engage in on a daily basis that have meaning to them and occupy their time. This includes things people need to, want to, or are expected to do. OTs in the schools play a unique role in helping all students perform the best they can in their educational setting. This includes providing academic support, increasing social interactions with peers, promoting school routines, participating in recess, the classroom, and cafeteria time. Occupational therapists can help students meet the academic demands of teachers and the school day by providing simple strategies to help them perform to their best potential. The following laws specify the involvement of occupational therapy within schools: the Individuals with Disabilities Act, or IDEA, No Child Left Behind, and Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act. These laws were implemented to ensure that students are provided optimal support. There are 6 guidelines within IDEA. First, all children have the right to a free and appropriate education. All children should receive this education as well as OT services within the least restrictive environment. This means students should be included with typically developing students in as many contexts as possible and appropriate. Once it is recognized that a child is having difficulty performing in school, teachers and other educational professionals conduct a multifactorial evaluation to determine a baseline and define areas that need to be addressed by the team. The multifactorial evaluation directly guides the education team in creating an individualized education plan, or IEP, for students who qualify. Parents and students attend the IEP meeting where they contribute to creating goals. Finally, the students and their parents' rights are protected by the IEP since it is a legally binding document. An IEP is written if a student requires additional related services or accommodations to access their educational environment and they have a diagnosis specified as covered in IDEA. They are developed in collaboration by the education team, which includes the family, the student, and the education team. Occupational therapy is designated as a related service by Public Law 94-142, which guarantees a free, appropriate public education to each child with a disability. The definition of a related service is transportation, developmental, corrective, and other supportive services required to assist a child with a disability to benefit from special education. Services and accommodations specified in the IEP are legally binding and must be provided as described in the IEP. Therefore, it is important to focus on OT involvement in the IEP writing process. No Child Left Behind sets achievement standards for students to ensure that all children receive a quality education and make adequate yearly progress, including those with disabilities. Through No Child Left Behind, occupational therapists can now provide service to children who do not qualify for special education that would benefit from intervention. No Child Left Behind has several implications. First, to provide services to support all children, not only children in special education. To expand the role in assessment for and use of classroom modifications and accommodations for students with disabilities. And to test the scores of children with disabilities counted toward annual yearly progress. In addition, occupational therapists can help the team determine what testing accommodations are needed. There is a need to be more aware of students' academic requirements and to become familiar with Common Core standards. And finally, provide increased attention to evidence-based practice and accountability. Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973 and Title II of the Americans with Disabilities Act require schools that receive federal funding to provide students with disabilities access to public education. This does not require the student to be on an IEP receiving special education, but only that they have a documented mental impairment or physical disability that substantially limits one or more major life activities. This broader definition allows students who may not be IEP eligible to be 504 eligible for accommodations to access their learning environment. This slide provides specific examples of occupational therapy's scope of practice and role in the school setting. Academic tasks include handwriting and fine motor abilities, sensory processing, and social participation, while non-academic tasks include tasks in various settings such as the restroom, cafeteria, recess, hallways and lockers, and after-school or extracurricular activities. Examples of overlapping academic and non-academic tasks include education or classroom learning activities and written communication, social participation such as appropriate interaction and making friends, activities of daily living including dressing before physical education, managing outerwear, eating lunch, and using the restroom, instrumental activities of daily living such as counting money for lunch, cleaning after oneself, and riding the bus, play, leisure, and work, which includes the development of work skills such as cleaning, sorting papers, or giving back change in the lunch line. No Child Left Behind sets achievement standards for students to ensure that all children receive a quality education and make adequate yearly progress, including those with disabilities. Through No Child Left Behind, occupational therapists can now provide service to children who do not qualify for special education that would benefit from intervention. The educational system uses a three-tiered model of service delivery. Occupational therapists can provide services to students in each tier. This pyramid model shows the distribution of students in each tier. Thanks to the national legislation discussed previously, the service delivery of occupational therapy greatly expanded, allowing occupational therapists to provide services to all students. The following slides will discuss in more detail each of the three tiers. Tier 1 focuses on the health promotion of students. It is the universal instruction of all students and/or consultation with teachers and other school-based service providers. While Tier 1 caters to all students, it can also cater to their individual needs. It serves as early identification, screening, and prevention. It focuses on competence enhancement in all children and youth, building strength and resources in every child. Tier 2 focuses on prevention for children and youth at risk of mental health challenges. Its focus is to prevent the development of mental health challenges and promoting mental health and well-being. At-risk conditions include physical disabilities, autism spectrum disorders, ADHD, obesity, poverty, and children who have experienced trauma. Programs or interventions under Tier 2 could include the exploration of healthy occupations, the promotion of a balanced view of health and well-being, the promotion of social participation in natural contexts, encouragement of self-expression and identification, and modification of classroom expectations according to specific behavior and sensory needs of the child. Tier 3 focuses on specific intervention strategies related to a student's unique needs. This tier is implemented in support of children with identified mental health challenges. Along with promoting mental health and well-being, Tier 3 focuses on minimizing symptoms associated with their mental health disorder. This slide provides specific examples. Tier 1 includes co-teaching programs, sensory programs, comfortable cafeteria, handwriting curriculums, environmental modifications, and social-emotional learning curriculums. Tier 2 includes time management groups and social skills groups for children struggling with communication in the classroom. And Tier 3 includes individualized sensory diets, individualized handwriting programs, and ABA for a single student with an autism spectrum disorder. Handwriting is the most frequent referral for OTs in the schools. It is estimated that 20% of primary school-age children in the U.S. suffer from fine motor difficulties. Handwriting often helps occupational therapists get their foot in the door in order to have a more broad involvement in the child's routine throughout the school day. Children with fine motor coordination problems experience a wide range of functional difficulties at school, including writing, organizing workspaces, using their locker, flipping pages, holding a paintbrush, and manipulating clothing for bathroom use. Fine motor tasks are complex processes involving the coordination of the eyes, arms, hands, pencil grip, letter formation, and body posture. The development of a child's handwriting can provide clues to developmental problems that could hinder their learning. A child's inability to master good handwriting skills could indicate a more serious problem, such as developmental or learning disabilities. Simple strategies to help improve fine motor coordination include pencil grips, vertical surfaces, wider writing utensils, and rolling balls of Play-Doh. Various programs and resources are available for fine motor and handwriting, such as Write Out Loud, Handwriting Without Tears, Writing Better, and Inspiration Kidspiration. Occupational therapy is the only profession that addresses sensory dysfunction. According to the American Occupational Therapy Association, children with sensory problems make up between 5 to 15% of the general population. As humans, we process information through our 5 senses, as well as through our proprioceptive and vestibular systems, which provide input about body awareness and balance. These systems begin development in utero and continue to develop into childhood. Some children's sensory systems develop atypically, resulting in dysfunction of one or more senses. Problems with sensory processing integration are often apparent in a child's behavior, social interactions, academic performance, and in his or her motor coordination. Children with sensory issues may have difficulties or display behaviors in various environments in the school. Therefore, it is up to the occupational therapist to determine whether a child's actions are truly due to behavioral issues or if there are underlying sensory dysfunctions affecting their behavior. We can address these difficulties by utilizing assessment tools to understand the child's response to stimuli and what input is sought out or avoided for the child to appropriately participate in school. Interventions will be implemented to improve the student's engagement. It is important for teachers and occupational therapists to collaborate in order to provide the most effective environment for the child to thrive. Occupational therapists can address sensory dysfunction in the following ways. They can address problems with sensory processing integration, assess the child's sensory integration difficulties that affect their participation in all school settings, as well as their response to sensory stimuli, utilize information or observations from teachers and parents during these assessments, and plan and provide interventions to improve participation or engagement in the school setting. Children with disabilities tend to be excluded and made fun of more often than those who are typically developing. Many of the children with a disability have difficulties both socially and academically. In addition, when a child has a disability, it also affects the family and their behaviors. For example, siblings may be vulnerable, which could lead to significant difficulties in functioning. This negatively affects the siblings' mental health and takes away from their childhood and academic developmental experiences. The parents also display great concern for their children in regard to bullying. Additionally, parents are concerned with social and psychological consequences that can lead to exclusion from activities in school and home, as well as developmental difficulties. Well-being is a major concern from an occupational therapy perspective. Occupational therapists can help establish a better family-centered approach that encompasses comprehensive, coordinated, compassionate, and culturally proficient care that should be provided to the children with a disability and other children in the family. It is important to educate the teachers and staff that work directly with the children and understand the necessary tools such as collaboration with occupational therapy to facilitate their success in school. Occupational therapists can also help increase relationships within the family. Incorporating occupational therapy into the family will help them manage stress by strengthening the communication process and increase their problem-solving skills, which may lead to an improved outcome for the siblings and other family members. Assistive technology, or AT, is essential in providing students with disabilities better access in the school environment and increased participation in the classroom academically. Assistive technology devices can be classified as low-tech or high-tech devices. Low-technology devices are simple, straightforward tools such as picture boards, timers, and visual schedules. High-technology devices typically involve computer-related systems and include word prediction software and devices that aid a student with constructing sentences. OTs have high levels of expertise regarding assistive technology and are consulted for suggesting, prescribing, and implementing assistive technology devices with students effectively. Occupational therapists in the school setting focus on using AT as a tool to enable the child to better engage or perform in everyday school occupations, such as writing, playing, or participating in social activities, and to make the environment more accessible. Assistive technology, according to IDEA, is equipment that is purchased, tailored, and specifically designed to help children with disabilities be able to better access their environment. Limited cooperation between occupational therapists and teachers results in lower levels of assistive technology use or abandonment of assistive technology devices. Mental health is a state of successful performance of mental function resulting in productive activities, fulfilling relationships with other people, and the ability to adapt to change and cope with adversity. Some common diagnoses for students with mental illness who may benefit from occupational therapy services include anxiety and mood disorders, depression, behavior disorders, attention deficit disorder, and autism spectrum disorder. More often than not, when people think of mental health, they think of the negative aspects such as mental illness. When students struggle, fall behind, or experience high levels of frustration, their mental health suffers, affecting their ability to perform in school. Occupational therapists can help students with or without an IEP for a mental illness perform their best. Challenges of the school day can become too overwhelming or frustrating for students. Occupational therapists can help students learn new coping mechanisms through various intervention strategies that will enable them to spend time with their peers and keep their anxiety levels to a minimum. Some simple strategies to promote mental health that teachers can implement in their classrooms are deep breathing exercises, sensory breaks, and yoga. School-wide intervention strategies that promote positive mental health include social-emotional learning, positive behavioral interventions and supports, how your engine runs, and zones of regulation. The Comfortable Cafeteria program is a program developed in part by CSU faculty member and OT Sue Basic. The program aims to facilitate the development of a positive cafeteria environment and to promote the mental health of students throughout the school day and at home. Click the link above to check out a video describing this Tier 1 OT developed program. Every Moment Counts is a mental health initiative aimed to improve the mental health of all students. Furthermore, it focuses on reframing mental health to a positive state of functioning. It was developed by many OT change leaders, including Sue Basic of Cleveland State University. For more information, follow the link provided on this page. As Case Smith and Holland stated in 2009, to achieve an integrated, inclusive practice model, the adults who interact with the child must share the same goals, agree on the methods of interaction, and agree to a set of priorities. Collaborating as a team can help in early identification of any struggles or issues that could affect performance of daily activities, academic skills, self-care, and social participation. Focus groups and interviews composed of teachers, occupational therapists, and other education stakeholders in 2 different studies indicated that there is a need for increased teacher awareness and knowledge of occupational therapy intervention for students. By increasing awareness, collaboration, and expertise of multiple disciplines, we can provide effective support and implementation throughout the 3-tier model. Collaboration can lead to more effective school-wide prevention efforts and the creation of positive environments to support mental health. Here is a list of additional resources that are helpful for understanding the role of occupational therapy in the schools. The main points of this presentation include the idea that occupational therapists promote participation in daily life activities or occupations and maximize the potential of students to perform daily school occupations. For example, they provide assistive technology to improve performance in the classroom activities or intervention strategies to improve fine motor abilities, enhancing academic participation. Also, occupational therapists can utilize their specialized skills during the intervention process with students in the areas of sensory processing, mental health, or fine motor difficulties that may be interfering with the student's abilities to successfully participate in critical occupations. Finally, collaboration between occupational therapists, teachers, and education professionals will be vital to the well-being and success of students in the school environment.